Welcome to My Journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts and the talents that God has given us. Thank you all so much for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome to the journey. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. You could choose any platform to watch, any program to watch, but for you to think it not robbery to spend this time with us, we truly, truly appreciate it. We'd like to thank our underwriters for Mighty Journey with Paula G, because without them, this would not be possible. So we are so incredibly, incredibly grateful. I always start with time is precious. Y'all know that. Time is precious. It is the one thing we cannot get back. So for you, once again, to think it not robbery to spend this time with us is truly, truly appreciated. You know, as we all walk on this journey called life, we all gain these experiences throughout our lives. You know, the trials and the errors, the victories and the triumphs. And on my particular journey, I've learned on my radio show, I used to say worldwide conversations, interviewing people from around the world and realizing that there's so many things that we have in common. There's so many things that we all have been gifted with. At the end of the day, we want a good life. We want our children to be educated in the best way possible. We want to raise our families. We want to have homes, you know, all of these things. And we want to use those gifts. We want to use those talents that we have been gifted with. Our guest today is one of those individuals, and we are truly about to have a worldwide conversation. She is the founder of a world school. We're going to talk about that. She is an educator for over 23 years. She is an inspirational speaker. She is a global leader. She is Dr. Shauli Mukherjee, and she is here with us on the journey today. Dr. Shauli, thank you so much for joining us all the way from India. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula. It's absolutely a pleasure to be on this platform today.
And we are so delighted to have you. So share with us a little bit about who is Dr. Shauli Mukherjee.
Sure. So I would like to define myself as a passionate academician for the last 23 years who have been actually working passionately towards, bringing about some of the relevant changes in the education sector, as well as a global thought leader and an internationally acclaimed inspirational speaker. Well, in the last 23 years of my professional journey as an educator and an academician, I have been the principal as well as the founder principal of some of the reputed international schools in West Bengal, India, among which definitely I would like to mention Adamas World School and STEM World School. Now, why STEM World School? Because STEM World School happens to be the first STEM school in the entire West Bengal region, which was eventually awarded for being the second best international day school in the entire West Bengal region of India by Education World in 2016. So, that is something which is very, very close to my heart. Apart from that, I would like to say that I'm a person who is extremely passionate about promotion of child-centric and activity-centric education in the entire global platform. And I strongly believe that the purpose of true and real education is to help develop lifelong learners, creative thinkers, and responsible global citizens who are confidently equipped to face the challenges of an uncertain and constantly evolving and unfolding future. And in the last 2 decades of my journey, well, I have been the recipient of numerous awards and accolades and international achievements as well. Just to name a few, National Quality Excellence Award, Gem of India Award, National Education Leadership Award, and to top it all, the World Peace Award in 2021. I have also been awarded for being among the top 50 women leaders in the education industry and top 20 revolutionary education leaders in India. And very recently, I'm very happy to share, that I have also been recognized among the 99 women achievers of India for the world for the year 2021. Additionally, I'm associated with premier educational organizations across India as well as globally in senior advisory position. And in my current role as the director of School of Education in one of the premier universities of Eastern India, I'm committed to developing and nurturing the future teachers and the future researchers of tomorrow who will be endowed with the ability of inspiring, touching, and impacting the lives of millions of people around them through the transformative and the ennobling power of education.
Wow. That is amazing with all of your accomplishments and all that you do for not only your community, but the country as a whole, and your role as a woman on this journey to educate, to inspire, to empower, to motivate. And I think the audience kind of needs a perspective to really understand why all of that is so significant. Can you share just a bit about your culture and perhaps some of the challenges you may have faced over the years in pursuing your passions, pursuing your dreams, and perhaps some of the obstacles that you overcame?
Sure. So, as I told you, that I have always been passionate about the real essence of education. So, when I entered into this teaching profession way back, before 23 or 24 years back, so I entered this particular profession with a lot of dreams and with a lot of vision of creating a real difference in this particular system, in really touching and inspiring the lives of this young children all around me. But sadly enough, the more I was into the system, I started feeling frustrated at the way things were being done and the way education was actually delivered. And in fact, I would like to state that, we all know that our histories have changed, our geographies have changed, but sadly enough, and unfortunately, our education system has not changed. It's still the same. It's still the byproduct of the 19th century industrial revolution, which promotes a one size fits all educational structure, which still believes that, you know, uh, the system has to be the same for everyone, like the conventional educational norms, the traditional educational norms. They still force our young learners to conventionally draw and color within the lines. That is to conform, to comply, and to compete. Where every single learner is given the same amount of time to learn the same thing in the same way and preferably on the same day. So there is no wonder as to why these little children they struggle so much to realize their true potential. I mean, if you also see the system of standardized testings, which is actually prevalent across all the sphere of education, it actually tests the learner's ability to conform and to compete. But it does not give any leverage to the students to actually explore their creative side or their innovative spirit. It doesn't. Our education system gives so much of importance to intelligence quotient, IQ, but sadly enough, it neglects the emotional dynamics. Though significant research has proved that more than 80% of the success in your life, be it in your personal endeavor or in your professional sphere, it actually depends on your emotional quotient and not on your intelligence quotient. So, the more I was into the system, the more I saw that things are actually happening the way it shouldn't have been so. So I strongly feel that, our education system denies the fact that each and every child is born with a unique blueprint to create a unique difference in the world around him or her. So that particular opportunity needs to be given to that particular child. So I feel that there is a need for, in fact, an urgent need for a paradigm shift from a too structured, too organized, and too rigid educational system to a more open, more productive, fulfilling, meaningful, stress free, and a happy educational ecosystem. So, this is something which I'm absolutely passionate about. And in the last 2 decades, I have tried in my own way, to bring about changes in my own sphere. And that has actually led me to, establish the first 10 school in West Bengal with a real difference, where there are no standardized tests, where there are no standardized curriculum, where the happiness and the passion quotient of the teachers as well as the children, they're absolutely high, you know. So that is what I have actually done, and that is something which I would continue, which I would love to do, even in the near future, because I think that is the need of the hour.
I am an educator myself, and for years. And this is perhaps for me anyway, the first time that anyone has truly specifically articulated as well as you have. I'm going to have to go back and watch this myself because I don't believe I've heard anyone articulated as clearly and specifically as you have in regard to, we all often talk about we need to change our system. We have our children learn differently. We need to change. But you have stated, yes, we need to change, but you've also stated specifically why we need, and then incorporating the emotional aspect with that is so incredibly, incredibly important, I believe, because you can give a child all of the resources, the tangible resources to be successful. But if the emotional intelligence is not addressed, then all of those resources aren't necessarily effective because their emotional intelligence is, it's not being addressed. So I appreciate you sharing it and articulating it in the manner that you have articulated it. You mentioned there are no standardized tests. You mentioned about the young people, some young people learn outside of the lines. That's where their creativity lies. It's being able to color outside of the lines. Can you share with us perhaps some of the specific aspects of the curriculum that you have that your students are able to experience?
Yeah, sure. So in that school, it's totally what we term as experiential learning. It's totally hands-on. So because I've always believed that how much could you possibly learn from, mugging up contents from a textbook and relying on the rote memorization skills, and you're only memorizing for the sake of passing an examination, maybe. So I mean, is that a kind of an education relevant anymore in this 21st century? So, as a self reflective practitioner in the field of education, I constantly ask myself a lot of questions. And in fact, when you had asked me that, what were the challenges and some of the obstacles, I would really like to share that, it's not only about me, but for anybody who would like to really bring about a revolutionary change in the system, which obviously involves a change first in the mindset of the people. So that requires a lot of hard work and perseverance, because it's definitely not going to be an easy task. It's definitely not been an easy task for me as well, because I was actually dealing with the mindsets of the people, like the parents, the administrators, and even the teachers who came with a very stereotypical, convention of how education should be.
Because you're up
So,
against a lot of tradition as well. Would that be
yes,
fair? Okay.
right. So it had really not been an easy task of, molding them and, making them understand that why this is so very important and why this is so very relevant. But then I have always believed that, the so-called obstacles and challenges, they come to your life in order to help you evolve and emerge as a stronger, as a better, and as a more, authentic version of yourself. That is something which I've always believed in. I'm a strong believer in the concept of ikigai myself, that you need to have a purpose. You need to have a very, very clear purpose, and you need to know that why you are actually getting up from your bed each and every morning. What is it that you're actually trying to do? So I'm a strong believer of that, and that has really helped me, uh, you know, face those so-called obstacles and challenges, because I believe that, it actually, at the end of the day, it all depends on you. So it depends on your perspective. So whether you're looking at those obstacles and challenges from the lens of a victor or a victim, are you trying to do that in order to make yourself bitter or better? So it all depends on you at the end of the day. So these actually have really helped me in my journey. And in case of, when you had asked me about the curriculum, so I must say that, in that particular school, the students are when I speak about the importance of the other kinds of quotients rather than the IQ or the intelligence quotient, I believe that I have seen that in that particular school, the EQ, the emotional quotient, the PQ, the passion quotient, the HQ, the happiness quotient, the SQ, the spiritual and the social quotient, as well as the AQ, the adversity quotient of the children, were progressively higher. And it's all because of a different kind of an educational system to which they had been exposed to. And so I really feel happy to see them evolve into holistic human beings at the end of the day. And I believe that as a passionate academician, that is my vision and that is my mission.
Well, thank you for anticipating my next question, because my next question was, how have you seen all of this manifest in your students? So thank you for anticipating that question. That is wonderful. I'm excited about what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this further manifests and the impact that you not only have, but will continue to have as you continue this journey of being passionate about education and being an advocate for our students and their future, and understanding how they learn and what needs to change so that their learning environment is one that is engaging, it's edifying, and it's uplifting for our students. How can the audience stay connected with you?
Well, I'm a person who is very, very active on social media. So I'm quite active on Facebook, I'm quite active on LinkedIn as well as Instagram. So anybody who is willing to, be connected with me and to reach out to me, yes, I mean, it would be a wonderful opportunity to get connected with like-minded people. So they can definitely, reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Additionally, my email ID is meetingdrmukherjee@gmail.com. It is MEETING, doctor, that is Dr. Mukherjee, MUKHERJEE, meetingdrmukherjee@gmail.com. You can also write to me at meetingdrmukherjee@gmail.com. I would really, appreciate if, like-minded people reach out to me.
Yes, and your social media, what is your social media names or address?
Yeah, so in LinkedIn, I am there as Dr. Shauli Mukherjee.
Okay.
And on Facebook, I'm there as Shauli Mukherjee. And on Instagram, also, I'm there as Dr. Shauli Mukherjee.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much. I pray that you have enjoyed this conversation as much as I have. And I am looking forward to staying connected and to seeing all the wonderful and just powerful things that you are doing to impact our future. You are planting seeds today. You are planting seeds in our young people and our youth today, seeds that will grow, and those seeds will produce productive, motivated, inspired young men and women that will take us into the future. So thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us. Go back and listen to this episode again and again. So much information, so much inspiration via this worldwide conversation with Dr. Shauli Mukherjee, all the way from India, speaking to us all the way from India. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is just an example. Remember, she spoke about the mindset. We always say that the greatest conversation you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation? And are you listening to his still small voice? Thank you all so much for joining us. Our underwriters, thank you all so much for joining us. Dr. Mukherjee, thank you so much. Until next time, embrace the journey.
Thank you.
About what's going on in the world and with humanity.
Yeah, because the virus had taken place and a lot of things are going on in the earth. So like you say, it's about humanity, about us coming together and what? Saving the earth.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fields? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth is weeping shore? What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? What about flowering fields? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth is weeping shore?